welcome back to another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks. We got our starter playoffs edition. So not really going to recap week 18 because, it's just a bunch of tomfoolery that week, divisional games and meaningless games. But, before we get into playoffs, should hit a little bit on the Birds game against Washington. The Bears lost, so we did have. I mean, they were playing at the same time, but they did lose, so we had an opportunity to get the 2 seed. I will say though, after everything was settled, I'm fine. I'm like pretty fine with playing San Fran on Sunday. And I
I
don't
think
think
he prefers them over the Packers.
I'm starting to think that too because they have so many injuries. I mean, the Packers have injuries too, but like San Fran's defense is a mess. And if you can limit CMC a little bit. Um, like I think this should be like cause Purdy some issues maybe, but I mean it'll be a close game, but I think the Eagles will be able to take care of business. But I also think the Packers can beat the Bears, so that takes away the 2 seeds, so we're just behind Seattle at that point. So, but
Yeah, I think the Niners obviously have so many injuries on defense. I don't know who's playing linebacker for them. I think they're picking guys off practice squads. But Trent
they
Williams, if he's going to miss time, I think that will be huge with how good the pass rush has been.
yeah, I saw
Um,
he wasn't going to play. I thought that was pretty surprising,
yeah,
but
he's banged up, and I mean, you look at the Niners roster. You're out Warner, you're out Bosa, you're out Trent Williams.
Kittle's hobbled.
Yeah, yeah, I feel good. I mean, we are a bad offense, so we're playing a bad defense.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's counterbalance, but I think our defense will be a problem for San Fran's offense. They're very Purdy's look good, CMC's look great. What's his face? Jennings look good. Kittle's out there, so
Yeah.
it won't be easy, but I do feel good, especially San Fran having to come to Philly
Yeah, and
all
I
the way.
mean the way that they play against Seattle gives me positive, like gives me hope because I think I think Seattle gets a lot of uh exaggerated praise. I do think that's a really, really good defense, but I people are talking about them be like the best defense. I don't think they're the best defense.
I mean,
But
they're up there. They're definitely
no,
up.
no, they're definitely top five. But I mean, I would probably put Houston or even the way the Eagles defense has been playing lately.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, like, the what's different than last year is the Seahawks defense is so good that if Sam Darnold does turn into a pumpkin, they could
Mm,
still win.
yeah.
Like that's the difference from last year. Vikings had a good defense, but it obviously wasn't good enough to win games when Darnold fell
I
apart.
will say I hate to praise a former Cowboy, but underrated signing of last offseason, DeMarcus Lawrence has been really good
Marcus
for them.
Leonard Williams, man, the whole NFC East is
Yeah,
balling out with the Seahawks.
yeah,
They drafted really well. They got a good secondary. Weatherspoon's and Awari, the rookie there, like they've
yep.
done a very good job. The Geno trade has looked amazing.
Yeah, they looked like, oh, the Seahawks are going to rebuild to number one seed.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you completely forget that DK was traded like
Yeah,
there. They got a good haul for DK. JSN balled out. They've done a very, very
Jason
good
had
job.
a better year than DK's ever had. And
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, look, they moved on DK. They didn't have to pay him a ton of money.
yeah,
They didn't have to worry about him getting suspended the last 2 games of the season.
yeah.
Um, I
I,
think that they did very well. They got a good run game. I'm waiting on Darnold to see if he can hold
mm,
on, but I'm not writing off the Seahawks. They're going to be a problem. I still think it's fair that they're the favorite in the NFC.
I, yeah, I do see them. I don't think he's going to turn into a pumpkin yet. I'd have to see how like, when we do the predictions, how the seeding works out. But I definitely could see them in the conference championship in the NFC side. Um, but before we get too much into that, uh, quick notes. I mean, Miles Garrett broke the sack record. I know you're not happy with that because of the 17 games. However,
Yeah,
he did break it in less snaps
yeah,
than
I've come back around. I
so.
did see that, and I'll give him.
Yeah,
I think I've come back around to the snaps thing, and he's done it by a million. Like he
yeah.
just not even close. I mean, he did less than Strahan.
Hmm.
So I'll give him credit there. And considering how bad the Browns were, like
Oh
that's
yeah.
also impressive. So
And they won that game, and the Did you see like the timing? Like it was like the fat one of his fastest sacks to get the record. It was like 2 seconds or something from the time the ball was snapped. He was able to
Yeah,
get to
I
the
did see that.
quarterback.
Like they
Insane.
compared it against like Usain Bolt's get off time. I knew,
Yeah, he's not
it's
human.
it's
Him and
very
Derek,
deserved.
we need to find out what planet him and Derrick Henry came from because that's where the super freak athletes are from.
No. I'll get like because the other thing is like the Steelers games and the Bengals game, they were clearly just playing to not give Miles Garrett the record. And then you think back to Strahan and like Brett Favre basically fell down for him so that he
Yeah.
could get the record. Like I saw like Burrow just throwing for -3
Oh yeah,
yards.
they did not want him. The
Out of his
Bengals
hand.
did not want him to get the record.
Aaron Rod, like the offense for the Steelers were so like they were spending so much to block Garrett, like they just couldn't do anything offensively, and ended up losing that game.
Yeah.
So had they actually focused on scoring points and moving the ball instead of preventing Garrett from sacking Aaron Rodgers, they probably would have won. But what are you going to do? So yeah, I'll give him a pass. I'll give him it. Well done, record keeper. Um,
It was
but
funny
yeah,
though. Did you hear Zach Taylor's press conference?
no,
He he was saying that him and Jamar were like upset that the refs stopped the game to let them celebrate the sack record. Jamar was like, I don't know. He was like saying stuff like, "Oh, well, like we weren't told like they were gonna stop it. Like I don't think they should have stopped it, whatever." And they're like, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, but Jamar, if you had broken like the receiving record, they would have stopped the game for you."
yeah.
Like we, but Zach Taylor, he was like. He's like, I didn't like it. They didn't give us a heads up that they were going to do this. We're fighting for our lives out here. I'm like, fighting for your lives? You've been out of the playoffs for like 6 weeks. What are you fighting
Fighting for
for?
his job. Yeah, he's fighting for his job, not necessarily his lives.
Which sounds like he's still going to be the coach for next year,
I
which
mean, he's locked in. I don't think now that McDaniel just got fired, I don't see any other coaches getting fired.
I was going to say, we're
I mean,
not going to do studs and duds, but I mean, the duds for this week are Jim Harbaugh,
oh,
uh,
you must have been thrilled. There's so many firings, just coordinators, coaches.
Stefanski got fired from the Browns. The Daniels one, like, it makes sense. It should have happened, but the way he was progressing after week 8, it sounded like he was going to stay in
It made no
Miami.
sense because you heard like we thought he was going to be dead to rights like
Yeah,
week what 6 when
yeah,
they fired Greer, the GM. Then like the players would come out like, oh no, we're fighting for him. They won like 4 in a row. They
yeah,
clearly were still going. They actually look better since like his name came up on the hot seat.
yeah.
They finished strong. I don't know exactly what they ended up finishing on, but then it
Almost
was
50,
like
almost 500, I think.
McDaniel coming out and said like he will be involved in the GM interviews. And you're like, surely if you're saying like I'm going to be involved in the GM interviews, that makes you think that, someone else told him that. Like he was told that like, yeah, we want your opinion. And then went completely 360, like, no, we don't even want your opinion. We don't want you to work here anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
that was a surprise one. The Harbaugh one I thought was surprising. I don't really get that one. I mean, unless Harbaugh kind of wanted to go, it's like the Ravens didn't have a great season, but they almost won the division the last week of the season.
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw some people compare it to Andy Reid, and I think it could be a breath of fresh air for the Ravens and Harbaugh.
Yeah.
That's somewhere else he goes. But Andy, the team was falling flat on their face. Like the Eagles were going nowhere. They were clearly on the decline.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't been very good for like a couple of years then. Like the Ravens going into the season were Super Bowl favorites. If they
Hmm.
won that game, like they would have won the division. Then what do you do? Fire them and if do you lose your playoff game? I just shocked there. But I mean, if it was more mutual, that would be the only really explanation I could assume.
Yeah. Who else got fired? Gannon got fired from the Cardinals.
No,
Uh,
I heard some things that he was going to stay, but
oh,
again, on the
I
flip side of
thought,
that, I wasn't necessarily surprised.
yeah. I don't know. It's
I
weird.
mean, that's a team that regressed. Like they were better his first year or two. This year
But
they were just a joke.
but the fact that Jacoby Brissett looked better than Kyler Murray is huge. That like that they need to reset that whole. They need to
Right, you're
restart.
rebuilding the team.
Like you have McBride, and if Marvin Harrison Jr. can get his mental together, like those two can be elite together. So you need to make that offense work. and find the
Well,
right quarterback.
I think they fired the GM too. I could be wrong, but I thought they cleaned house,
They might.
which I
Sometimes
think
that's
makes
the
sense.
best. Yeah, slate, clean
I mean,
slate.
to be fair, it looks like that's what the Dolphins are doing. Dolphins want to move on from Tua. Tua wants to leave. The Cardinals want to move on from Kyler.
I
I
mean,
think Kyler wants to leave. You fire the coach,
it's
and you fire the GMs.
it's a tough, situation because you look at the Jets. Like, I think Aaron Glenn could be a great coach, but he's a defensive minded coach, and their defense was terrible this year.
I
And
mean, you
it
traded
was like the worst.
players.
It was like the worst Jets team they ever put out there. Like statistically, he should have gotten fired because of how bad they were, but they want to give him time to rebuild the team and do all this and that. But I mean, like Garrett Wilson was their leading receiver at the end of the year, and he didn't play since like week 6 or 7.
Yeah,
That's that's crazy.
I mean, I think it's a completely different situation though. The Jets weren't expected to be very good. They weren't expected to be this bad, but
I don't
they
know. I
did.
mean, I think they were expected to win a cut like some games though. Like you brought in Justin Fields after he had a pretty decent like season with the Steelers, and then you have Brees Hall, you have Garrett Wilson, you have a defensive minded coach, you have good players on defense, but they just could not put it
Yeah, but
together.
I mean, they threw up the white flag in the middle of the season. So I really anything after the
Yeah, I
trade
don't.
deadline, like what did you expect? Garrett Wilson went down, Quinn Williams got traded, Sauce Gardner got traded. Like they clearly Justin Fields didn't play anymore.
Yeah,
They were throwing out who was it, Tyrod. Well, Tyrod Taylor got hurt, and you were throwing
yeah.
out who was pretty like I don't fault him for what happened next. Like you intentionally gave up. Like they were tanking. They gave up on the season. What do you want him to do?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying he should be fired. I'm just saying because of all those circumstances, like otherwise, if it was just like that's how bad they were, like I could have seen him getting fired after just 1 year, but I don't think they want to waste the opportunity to have him as a coach. So,
Yeah, the one and dones I never like. I just think they're like, what do you expect them to do? Unless on the flip side, Pete Carroll getting a one and done, I thought made sense. I mean, the Raiders sure weren't contenders for Super Bowl, but they were expected to win more games than contend. That's why
I
you brought in.
was I was
But
high on the Raiders, especially with Gino, because I mean, I put Gino in my top 10 for QBs because I mean, the numbers
it was
were there, but
a horrendous decision on your part. But
I mean, he
I
was like
mean,
10, but
yeah, but like it tells you everything. The Jets, I think they gave 20 mil for Fields. Like, sure, that was bad, but it was
Mhm.
only a 1 year deal, I think. Like Gino,
Yeah.
they extended him with like a 3 year contract. Like they were clearly expecting to do much better. And Pete Carroll's been the coach that he's been there, done that. Aaron Glenn's just getting his first job. Like, it, listen, Carroll should not roll in a situation be that horrendous in the beginning. Like you clearly learned this did not work. It's
Oh
very.
yeah, yeah. Pete Carroll got fired too. That's right.
Maybe they fired the GM too. Like you just that's
Yeah.
a clean reset. And Pete Carroll is not a rebuild coach. Like you're gonna have to
The
rebuild by Raiders.
That hire did not make any sense to me when it
No sense
happened.
at all. No sense at all. Unless they just really thought they were going to contend. They're like, let's get the best coach out there.
I guess, but I mean, I mean Mendoza looks pretty legit, and he'll probably end up going number one to them. So even though they drafted like three
And they
quarterbacks last year in the fifth and sixth
smoked
round,
Oregon. That was insane. I watched that game. Like, they did everything right. Dante Moore. I don't know. I mean, I heard his name float around first roll pick. He looked shook. Like the guy couldn't even hold on the
yeah,
ball.
yeah. I will say the Indiana coach is like it's impressive as hell what he's done in this is his first year, is it not? With the
Second year. They
second
were good
year,
last year.
but 2 years and you're already in the Natty. That's
It's
fucking impressive.
the back shoulder like the back shoulder what do you call it? Comeback routes that he was throwing, and then they hit that deep ball off it like on their second or third touchdown of the first half. He just looks so good. He showed a little athleticism with a couple big runs.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm the Raiders, it's who I'm going with, but if I'm the Raiders, I'm also blowing it up. Trading Crosby, fired Pete Carroll. I think they fired their GM. Like this is what you have to do.
Yeah, I don't know. The team it's because I thought their defense was going to be kind of like top 15 maybe based on like what how they kind of played out a little bit at the end of the year and with Crosby and but then, you
I
know,
mean, they had Christian Wilkins at
I
some.
was going to say and then he just disappeared.
I don't know what he
Um
apparently kissed someone and that was it.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
But
like I'm just curious. Like Deshaun Watson got a job quicker than Christian Wilkins has. He's still unsigned,
Yeah.
and he's a little more checker past.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't I would love for the Eagles to find a way to get Crosby over to Philly. I mean, he on his podcast after the Raiders played the Eagles, he was like, "Oh yeah, Philly's so cool, this and that." But
Hey,
I don't know
he's
what
going
kind of
somewhere. He is not staying with the Raiders.
yeah, but it'll be a king's ransom.
Yeah, you look at what the Parsons deal was. That's pretty much what you're
Yeah,
starting.
but
We have who else got fired? We had Stefanski get fired.
which another point. We're at like obviously I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, but like part of like 3% of me is like maybe if they lose in the wild card and they look horrible in offense, Patul will get fired and we can hire one of these great offensive minds that are now available. But obviously, I'd rather have a Super
I
Bowl.
mean, if you win the Super Bowl, your defense is going to be the main key. Like I've
Yeah.
come to this point later, like weeks ago, that the Eagles are going to win 13 to 10 games, and that's how they're going to get to the Super Bowl if they're going to.
Now,
I'd I'd still be inclined to move on from Patullo and
yeah,
bring in something definitely going to be better.
if the offense struggles throughout the playoffs but finds enough gas to win a championship, I do think Jeff and Howie would take a look at that because Nick's not going to fire him. But if they're not satisfied, they're probably looking at it like, hey, we have a chance to win again next year and the year after that. We can't be putting out this kind of offense, you know?
Listen, if you want to go back, if you're back-to-back Super Bowl champions, you got to let Nick do whatever the hell he wants. If Nick's
Yeah.
going to look in the mirror and be like, "This did not work," then fine. But I agree with you; he might not do it. But if you win back-to-back Super Bowls, Nick gets to do whatever he wants.
But I
I
mean,
think,
if like Stefanski or McDaniel could come to like, I'd be fucking excited as hell.
yeah,
But
without others, I'm on board.
but
I think, I mean, everyone's talking about, oh, he's the
or even
two-time coach of the
Dable.
year. Like, he's a good coach. He's just stuck in the Browns. Yeah, but I mean,
It
at the
was a
end of the day,
weird situation. They kept giving him different quarterbacks, and we're like, hey, figure out how to win with this guy.
it's
So
complete dumpster fire. This is another one
yeah.
of those like you need to rip it up again and completely rebuild. And for Stefanski's sake, I don't know if you want to put him through that again. This is like the third rebuild since he's been there.
I do think Stefanski could end up as a head coach again, though. Like instead of
Oh
going,
yeah.
because McDaniels is definitely going to go OC, then he'll come back to a head coach probably. But I think Stefanski will just hop right back to a head
There's
coach.
like 8 job openings. Like, I mean, be curious to see who Baltimore hires. I mean, they're a team that wants to win now. You're probably going to want one of these like established guys. Stefanski,
Yeah.
Baltimore could make sense.
What was I here? I was already hearing Harbaugh to the Raiders unless he wants to take a break, but like that would be like what they would want. Although who knows now with Tom Brady having some ownership in that team, what his involvement's going to be. But
If I were the Raiders, if I'm a coach, I'm not touching the Raiders. They're a mess.
it'd be a
Sure, Mendoza
mess.
looks good, but there's so many other problems on this team. Um, I've heard Harbaugh's name with Miami. I don't know if I want to go to Miami either because you're stuck with Tua, who looked terrible.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to get rid of him. I don't know what they do with Tua. Unless you want to go eat like 100 million dead cap space, go ahead. The Giants, I think, is the most attractive job, to be honest with you. I think
The
you got
Giant, yeah, I think the Giants are. I that's why
this.
I don't want Harbaugh to go there. But
If I was Stefanski, I think Stefanski to the Giants makes a lot of sense. Um,
yeah,
maybe if he wants it, but I don't know. I think Harbaugh makes more sense for like a team like actually looking to contend. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe Miami's probably the closest one, but you got the Tua headache. Like, as I just say, I don't know if you want to go to Miami and then I suggest it. I don't know I don't know who else is the closest to contending now besides Baltimore.
I don't know. I just wanted to see something with the Raiders. So since the year 2000, so 25 years, they've made the playoffs one, two, three, five times.
Yeah, they're a mess of a franchise. Wouldn't want to go there.
Yeah, their last positive season, they went 10-7 in 2021. and then 12-4 in 2016. 12-4.
Actually wouldn't be a bad spot for Harbaugh. I think Atlanta. Go to Atlanta, got some players. They're not a
Mm.
complete failure of a franchise.
Oh yeah, Raheem Morris got fired too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd be curious to see what he thinks. I mean, that was where Belichick was debating. Maybe Arthur Blank looks, decides, all right, didn't want to give Belichick complete control of everything. Maybe he thinks, I'll give up some more control to Harbaugh. Harbaugh's not as much of a psychopath that wants to do, have everything controlled. But
Yeah. I haven't looked into it much, but it wouldn't shock me if Harbaugh was like, you know what, let me just take a year off. Let me, you know, I forget who did that. McCarthy, I think, took a year off after the Packers firing. But yeah, I don't know. Or he could just go right into TV and like Bill Cowher and just not want to, you know, coach
sure,
anymore. But
it's a good idea.
but we shall see. Anyways, enough of the bad teams, enough of the duds. The studs of the NFL who made the playoffs. So we have AFC side, Chargers the seventh seed, Bills the sixth seed, Texans the fifth seed. Steelers beat the Ravens in a that game. The first half was horrible, and then the second half was like popcorn fireworks. Um,
Yeah, I love when people like with sports, everyone's like morally high, and like Justin Tucker gets suspended, and you're like, oh, what a horrible person, sexual predator, awful person. Get him off my team.
yeah,
And then your rookie quarter kicker misses at the very end to prevent you going to playoffs. And then it's like, oh, we should have never let Tucker go. Tucker would have
yep,
made that. I can't believe it. This was a fool franchise that let Tucker go. You're like, oh, well, your tone changes once you needed him.
yeah, yeah. Um, but so the Steelers made it on that. Yeah, it was like a 30-yard field goal that he missed, which is
You could. That
crazy.
was that was brutal. That was just,
And it
listen,
wasn't
you
like
got
a miss, like he it had no chance.
no
It went
joke.
into the parking lot. Uh,
Completely chill.
Jags, three seed. They're look. I'm not gonna lie. The Jaguars Bills wild card game is I think the toughest game to pick because you give the Bills the benefit of the doubt with Josh Allen, but Jaguars are so hot right now.
They
It's
are. They're overall very, very good. They don't really have many weaknesses.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
whoever wins that matchup is winning the AFC for me.
interesting. And then the Pats two seed and the Broncos the one seed, and then NFC side flip start from the top. Seattle the one seed, Bears the two, Eagles the three, Carolina Panthers the four. I don't remember the last time I've seen a division where the two teams that could win it played, but then it depended on a game from teams that weren't going to make it to the playoffs because the Bucks won, but then the Falcons beat the Saints. So then I guess tiebreaker, the Falcons finished higher than the Bucks,
Tiebreaker. I
but
don't understand
the
tiebreaker.
Panthers were higher than the Falcons. Yeah, I don't. But hey, shout out to the Panthers. Made it to the. I think they're not. I don't think they're gonna win, but they're minus 10.5, or the Rams are like minus 10.5. I think the Panthers can cover that. Like, Panthers defense is pretty solid. I don't think the Rams are
I
gonna kill
I
them.
think as well. I do. They've already played once.
Mm,
They're not going to fall for the same stuff before. Like they know what the Panthers are. They know what to expect. I think the Rams kill them.
mm, well. And then Rams are the five seed, Niners are the six seed, and then the Packers are the seven seed. So, with that being said, starting off, might as well stay in the NFC. Packers at the Bears. I think the Bears have had a nice story, and I mean this game I do think is a coin flip because this is divisional game, but I think the Packers have enough with the healthy players they do have that they'll beat the Bears because that defense, while they get takeaways, they cannot stop anyone. So, of the
Yeah.
Bears.
I I'm kind of inclined to go the same way.
Mm.
Like you think back to the game because they split. Think back to the game that the Bears actually won. Like Malik Willis came in to start the second half, and they
He's been
barely pulled it
solid
out of
though.
the end. Yeah, I mean, again, like I get it. Your win's a win, but that was a last minute. They just pulled it out. Malik Willis was the backup
Mhm.
quarterback. You had Mike Parsons, and I know Parsons not there as well, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not caught up on the Bills yet, and the Packers are a team that wins these games, not the Bills.
Yeah.
And yeah, the defense needs turnovers or they just stink. So I think I'm going to ride with the Packers here.
Okay. Then we'll go, I mean, Niners at the Eagles. We hit on this a little bit. I do think the matchup is good for the Eagles. I think they're as long as our defense plays the way they've been playing in the last, month, I think the Eagles can win. I don't think it'll come down to like a field goal, hopefully. I think they can win by like if the offense plays well. I mean, you get Lane coming back, players have been rested. I think they could win by 10, but I think it'll be a close game for most of
I
it.
mean, they are still a bad offense.
Yeah.
I think that the Niners defense is so bad that they might be able to score 20 points.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking more like a 20 to 14 game. I'm
Okay.
giving the benefit of the doubt to McCaffrey, Purdy, and Shanahan that they'll be able to put up 14.
Fair enough. And then LA Rams at the Panthers. I would be not surprised if this was close. I would be a little shocked if the Panthers pulled off the upset, but crazy things
I'm
have happened.
shocked. Yeah, I'd be like just completely if the Panthers won this. I think that the Rams cover and it's going to be a blowout.
But I do think the Rams will win. So because I think Philly, I think Rams, Seahawks, or Eagles will be in the Super Bowl for the NFC. One of those three. Um, and then jumping to AFC side, Chargers at the Pats. The Chargers have just been not good in December. Like they've the wheels have fallen off. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna go with the Drake May, whatever his nickname is. Drake May. Is that what
Did
they're
you
calling
just
him?
sound like you had a stroke? I don't know what
Yeah.
nickname.
You haven't seen that? It's like the thing. He's Drake May.
You just said his
It's
name multiple
yeah, I know
times.
it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I'll go Pats.
Chargers are the team that like everyone completely forgot, and then they look at the playoff standings like, oh wait, the Chargers are actually in the playoffs. Um, yeah, I don't see the Pats losing this. I don't. I mean, I'm doubtful because the Pats haven't played anyone good this year,
Yeah.
but I think they'll beat the Chargers.
All right. Then we jump to the Houston Texans traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this will be a very ugly, low-scoring game. Um, but I do think Houston. Who
I think
knows what Aaron Rodgers does in the playoffs? But I
Aaron
do think
Rodgers.
he's washed. But
I think Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter and D'Amico Ryans are going to put Aaron Rodgers through hell. I don't think it's going to be a fun day to be Aaron Rodgers.
might be his retirement game.
Uh, well, they lose, then yeah.
I mean, the
I
Texans.
just he's in
Tex
for a bad.
Yeah, and the Texans went from, they look like they're going to miss the playoffs first like 7 weeks of the year. I think they won like nine straight or something like that. Well, they lost like one of the last 2 weeks, but they were like killing it. So,
Confidence meter. I mean, the Texans are like the hottest team going into it, and you have the Steelers who just got in the playoffs
yeah,
and didn't really look like a playoff team doing it.
yeah. So we're both similar board so far. All teams, all picks are the same. So, and then again, I'm so like conflicted with this pick because in theory I should pick the Bills, but I don't know.
This is
What's
this is
your
the toughest one.
yeah.
The Jaguar, like there's so many teams that flipped it from last year. Like you had like I think there's what three teams that had like 12 losses or more. Like the Jags, the Texans were terrible, the Patriots were terrible. All these teams were awful last year, and now they're in the playoffs. And like, it's starting hard to believe about who's real, who's not. The Jaguars, I think, are real. They look good in all aspects. But at the same time, the Bills are the only team that's been in the playoffs. Like their run game's good. Josh Allen is good.
He
The
does have the
defense,
second most wins behind Aaron Rodgers for current playoff quarterback. So
yeah, I could see a Trevor Lawrence like turnover game. That's what I picture is we haven't had one in a long time and give a
yeah,
lot of Liam Cohen with that. But I could just see Josh Allen going Superman. This is where the Bills look at the lights. They're like, you know what? There's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Joe Burrow. It's either now or it's neither. And if it's not now, then I think they look into changing some things. Like maybe Doug is not it. Maybe they got to move on for some guys. But I think this is it for the Bills. I think they can beat the Jags. I think Josh Allen goes full Superman. I think Trevor Lawrence has a couple turnovers. I'll take the Bills, and this is going to be my big one. This is the matchup where I think they win the AFC, whoever wins this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking back at their schedule. I mean, beginning of the year, they beat the Niners, they beat the Texans. They only lost the Seahawks by a touchdown, beat the Chiefs when they were kind of okay. Pummeled the Chargers. Also, they split with the Texans. Beat the Colts twice. Beat the Broncos. Destroyed the Titans. Destroyed the Jets. Destroyed the Titans again. So it's tough. I don't know. It's who did you went it with who? The Bills?
I went with the Bills, yeah.
I mean, it has to like this has to be their year though. That's what I think that's what's like I'm trying not to like be influenced by that, but it just feels like it has to be their year.
I think the Jags are a better team,
The
but you're
Bills
talking about
defense is
one
not good.
game.
Bills defense is not good though.
Bills defense is very bad. But this is where the Jaguars are the better team. But this is where it comes down to playoff football, right? It just you have to be on it. You have to win one game. It's and this is where I think Josh Allen and some of the other players there could make the big plays. But yeah, I'll still say the Jags are a better team. I just think that the Bills are ready for the moment.
It's tough because I only have there's only two teams I think are going to go to the Super Bowl out of the um, AFC. My God, I hate this. I'm acting like this is like a life or death situation here. Um, I'm just going back and looking at. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Jags. I think I think Buffalo has some, like I said, problems on defense. The Jags are just super hot right now. I really wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo caught the Jags by surprise and like actually kind of dominated this game, but I also wouldn't be surprised seeing the Jags win. So um, I think the Jags are just it just seems right for them. So go with the
Listen, talking about
Jaguars.
coaching jobs, if the Bills lose in the opening round, I think there's going to be serious talks about McDermott fired. If Harbaugh got fired, I mean, you could make a tougher argument that McDermott has failed more.
Oh, I will say I heard that there was like a bit of a rift between Lamar and Harbaugh, like developing this year. And I also heard that Joe Burrow likes Zach Taylor. And so from what people were like, NFL reporters were saying players like Josh Allen, players like um, Joe Burrow can kind of control their coach's fate. So, I mean, Josh Allen loves Sean McDermott. I
I
don't,
mean, yeah, listen, I
but
get the fate thing, but
yeah, no,
like,
I hear you. I hear you.
I mean,
But
I think that there's other coaches that could win these games. The Bengals fine. That's more of a like we stink kind of thing, but it's outside of kind of Zach Taylor's mindset. Like Joe Burrow's just constantly hurt. The defense is a joke. I think the Bengals should have fired their GM like 4 years ago. I don't know
mm,
how he keeps his job. But then again, and this is the Bengals. They don't fire coaches. Marv Lewis would coach for like a decade and didn't win 10 games.
yeah, this is true. But I
But
mean,
at the end of the day, the Bills, you got to do something. You can't lose this game. If you lose this game, then McDermott's going to on be a really heated seat.
yeah, but the Bills will bill. So I'll stick with my gut. I'll go with the. Now, if I was picking the Bills, I would have put them in the Super Bowl. I'll just put it at that.
Fair
But
enough.
so moving on to the divisional round, then we have, well, you have Broncos versus or Bills at the Broncos and Houston at New England. What do you like in those
I'm still convinced that the Broncos are like arguably the biggest. I wouldn't say
frauds?
frauds, but I have the least confidence in like to the higher seeds.
Okay.
Just I get the defense is good. Bo Nix is just gonna he's due for a bad game. The offensive line I get is good, but they don't really have much of a running game. Like I'm shocked that they've done it this well. I feel like I've been calling it all year that they were gonna fall and come back to earth, and it never happened.
Mm,
But if the Bills knock off the Jags, the momentum's there. I think they can beat the Broncos as well.
okay. And then Houston Patriots.
Houston. I
Ooh.
I like
Houston
it, man.
in the
Houston's
AFC
good.
Championship game. Mm,
Houston's good, dude. Their defense is the best in the league. They've got all the momentum in the world. Offensively, they're going to struggle, but I think the defense just could be a nightmare for like the other teams. I think they can win a couple games.
okay. My AFC side is Houston at Denver, Jacksonville at New England. Um, I was kind of hoping I was going to be able to put Jacksonville and New England in the conference championship to repeat 2017, 2018 year, but I'm gonna go New England over Jacksonville. I thought New England, I still think they're up for debate to be frauds, but December they looked like a legit team. Like they were blowing people out. I mean, they took the Bills, it had a good game against the Bills, but I think just like luck is on their side this year. So I'll take the Pats. And then I agree with you with all the Broncos stuff, but I also don't think I think Denver and Houston are kind of in like a weird like their teams have great defenses and their offenses are good in like spurts. Um, I don't think Bo Nix is like the the best. Like I wouldn't want him leading me in the playoffs, but I just have a feeling that they're gonna find a way to beat the Texans. So I'll take the 1 and the 2 seed in the conference champs, the Broncos and the Pats.
Really going
Um,
out there.
yeah. And then NFC side, I'll go first. So I have the Packers at Seattle. I mean, Seattle, I think, is crazy what they've done. I mean, you know, I don't know what's in the water, but these first year, second year coaches are figuring it out quickly and they're getting their teams turned around. I mean, well, not your AFC. Oh, no, never mind. Who did, but I had my divisional playoffs, Jags and Pats, two coaches in their first years with their teams. And then, but yeah, Seahawks are great. I'll take them over Green Bay. And then another divisional rematch, Rams at the Eagles. If I wasn't an Eagles fan, I probably would lean towards the Rams. But I mean, I know what this team is capable of, so I think they can do enough to get it together. So I'll take Birds in a close one. Maybe it'll snow again. But
Yeah,
that leaves,
I'm gonna use the same exact logic.
yeah.
If I wasn't an Eagles fan, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah.
But I am a completely biased Eagles fan.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that if because it's gonna be in Philly, you
Hmm.
got two West Coast teams coming over. You got San Fran, you got LA. I think they can knock them both. And again, I'm like, if they beat the Niners, I'm thinking that the hype will be real. Like the city will be behind them. The vibes will be good. We're gonna have
What
that many
what if
that
we
we're
blow out the Niners? Like how crazy would that?
this is the thing with the Eagles. Like I just think
They're back.
like this thing with the Eagles, like if they win these terrible games that no one could fathom during the regular season, like we're in it. We're on it. We
And
just need wins. That's
here's
all
the
that
thing,
matters.
like these we have players who have been in these playoffs, some for a long time. They turn it
Exactly.
up. Lane Johnson coming back is so huge because this line has been terrible. Him coming back is so big. So,
I
and now
agree.
that
Like
Jalen Carter is not,
Jalen Carter's that guy now.
now that Jalen Carter can do push-ups again, he's back.
He might win us a playoff game against the Rams like he did last year. I just thinking
Sweet
all they
music.
have to do is win. They beat the Niners, the hype is going to be insane. It won't matter that the offense
Yeah.
still stinks. They're just going to take over the mentality. It's going to feel good. If I wasn't an Eagles fan, completely biased, I would definitely pick the LA into this game. But just, now I'm telling myself we're hyped, everything. I'm clearly going to pick the Eagles. I'm not like you who picks the Chiefs over the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I did do that, yeah.
Yeah, you're a dick because it actually came out to be exactly that.
Listen, happens. But
I'm an Eagles fan, I'm
um,
taking LA. I'm an Eagles fan, I'm taking the Birds.
did you also have uh Eagles versus Ravens in the Super Bowl like I did, or did you have Eagles versus Bills for the beginning of the year?
I want to say Ravens.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
I think that's part of why Harbaugh's got fired, was
Yeah.
the hype was too high
So
for him.
I mean, listen, I could see because McDermott's been with the Bills for it's probably been over 10 years now, right?
Exactly. You got nothing to show. This was the year. That's why if they lose to the Jags, I think McDermott gets fired. Like what are you gonna do? Like
And
this was
it's,
the year. No Burrow, no Lamar, no Patrick Mahomes. You need something different. He's a defensive guy. The defense stinks. You need to try something new.
if I was Buffalo, well, wait, who is Joe Brady their OC or is he on a different team?
Yeah.
Okay. But let's say maybe bring Dable back as OC, but I think Brady's a good OC.
It's not the offense. The
Yeah,
offense
yeah,
is fine.
yeah.
Defense stinks. There's
Yeah.
been other years, yeah, where it was the offense, but dude, Josh Allen has cut out the turnover significantly since they've developed a run game.
I mean, you can
You
turn a defense around in one off season. So it's just about executing on who you pick and who
It's
you
never been
run.
the defense has really not been that strong. They're more disappointed. They've had some good years, but
Yeah.
it's kind of going down. I mean, more or less though, I think a new voice is needed. Like you can't just keep trying the same thing. Like it's just not going to work.
Yeah. All right. So you and then Green Bay, Seattle, who you got?
Taking Seattle,
Okay.
I'll give them a little bit of credit.
All
Coming
right.
off of in Seattle, I think it's gonna be a tough one for Green Bay to win, especially that no one's gonna have a hangover in the playoffs, but knocking off the Bears in Chicago, that'll feel good. I think that Seattle can catch them.
All right. So conference championship, Philly travels to Seattle and for both of us, and then for you, Buffalo. Ew. Your conference championship is the two wild card teams, the 6 seed Buffalo at the 5th seed Houston. Houston hosting the conference championship as a wild card is crazy. But
I feel very confident about that.
okay. So I'll let you go first then. What are your picks besides the Eagles?
I think the Houston's defense is so good, and they're going to win games. They're kind of like the Eagles, but the Eagles have a better offense.
Hmm.
I just think that their defense is going to take them so far. CJ Stroud will have to score some points, and they
Yeah.
really don't have anything on offense. The momentum for Buffalo, if they get to the conference championship, knowing that it's not a Mahomes year, it's not a Lamar year, like it will be real. They will come into Houston fired up. Josh Allen will pull Superman, and listen, I think it's the year. I got the juju. I'm taking Buffalo.
Okay. Buffalo and then Eagles at Seahawks.
I mean, like I said, I took them over LA when I would
Yeah.
also take LA if I wasn't a
Yeah.
fan. I think Darnold's life could be miserable against
I,
Vic Fangio.
I think the only team that gives the Eagles pause is the Rams. I think they can beat everybody else, even playing like how they've been playing. So,
I agree with that. I mean, they have kind of like beaten mostly everyone
yeah.
else. Well, they lost the Bears, haven't played Seattle. I guess they didn't play the Niners. Maybe I'm wrong. They just beat the Packers and the Rams.
The Bears game was just so weird though. Like they literally like all the Bears did was run the ball and we just couldn't figure out how to stop them. But I don't know. Yeah, so I'm going Eagles over Seahawks and then I hate to see this, but Patriots Broncos. I'm gonna have Mike Vrabel in his rookie season as the Pats head coach. Gets them back to the Super Bowl. Drake May in his second year. Something about these second year quarterbacks. They get a year as a rookie. They learn how the league works. So I got Patriots at or not at, but Patriots Eagles. San Francisco is where the Super Bowl is being held, and you have Bills Eagles. Um, I will say, I think if the Bills get to the Super Bowl, they probably beat the Eagles, um, which, not ideal, but I'm going to say Eagles over Patriots in my bracket. So,
I think you're right about the Bills beating the Eagles. I could definitely see that in the Super Bowl. team of destiny and all that. Like
Yeah,
we've
adapt. If they get to the Super Bowl, it's a whole destiny thing.
again, it's team of destiny. I could see Josh Allen giving our defense a lot of problems.
Hmm.
But then again, the Bills defense stinks, but so does our offense.
I mean, we did beat the Bills this year, so
We did beat the Bills this year, and it was one of those extremely painful games to watch that the Eagles have had
yes,
multiple of.
yes,
I would lean to the fact that Jalen is a Super Bowl quarterback. He plays well in the Super Bowl. First one was like one of his greatest games. This last one, he didn't need to be great, but he still played very well. If I wasn't an Eagles fan, I would lean to maybe saying Buffalo, but I am an Eagles fan, so I'm going to take the Eagles anyway.
okay.
Even though there's been two games now that I've said if I was an Eagles fan, I might not pick them, but I'm picking them anyway. Go Birds.
Go Birds. All right, so you got Eagles over the Bills in the Super Bowl. I have Eagles over the Patriots. Who is MVP?
I think the offense is too bad. I'll give you one. Left field, Zach Bond.
Zach Bond. Okay, maybe
I
like
mean,
a pick six to maybe seal the game.
if you are playing against the Bills, he needs to have a big game because he'll be your Josh Allen spy.
I'm gonna say, I mean, Jalen Hurts is the obvious pick, but against his childhood team and one of his watched, Tom Brady, one of his favorite players. I'm gonna say AJ Brown. Possibly his last game as an Eagle. Gets
Hmm,
close to 200 receiving yards, two touchdowns, MVP for the Super Bowl.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a wrap on that. Eliminating the Eagles. Let's say the Eagles aren't a picture in this. Who do you think the Rams are really the only team like Rams or Seattle? I still think are the only other teams that'll represent because the Bears are too iffy with that defense. The Packers are injured. The Niners are injured. The Panthers are the Panthers. I don't really.
I think the Seattle has a very good chance of beating the Eagles. I think
Yeah,
Fangio could make Darnold's life hell, but I could also see JSN still making a big impact. Plus, they run the ball really well. That is our biggest weakness
yeah,
when it comes to defense. Plus, their defense is just ferocious. I, it's do you trust the bad Eagles offense or do you trust Sam Darnold pulling it out in a tough playoff atmosphere? Because
yeah.
I think the defenses are neck and neck. They're both extremely good. Um, I just think that Darnold has his pumpkin game, and I'm going to say it'll be that one. They'll have to hand the ball off a lot, and I think that's probably what they'll do. But Fangio, I think, brings out the pumpkin in Darnold.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. It's funny because of how much we complained all year about the Eagles, and yet here we are, both putting them in the Super Bowl because we know
I mean,
that
we've also, I think, picked the Eagles every single week in our pick 'em.
we have. But
Like I did, I did tell you my picks where if I was an Eagles fan, I think they'd lose those games. But
fair,
this is biased, completely biased.
fair. All right, so I have because thank you for reminding me, we have our guest picks and their Super Bowl picks. So Dak, that would be me. I had Eagles over the Pats. Tim, that would be you. Eagles over the Bills. And then going down the list, we have Nick. He has Eagles over Broncos. I mean, he's a fan of both teams, so I could see that. Um, my friend Mike, who's had he think he was on for one of the weeks to sub in for you. Rams over Broncos. It's interesting.
Hmm.
I could see that. I could see Denver like sneaking in with their defense. Um, Flurry, we should not be surprised. Steelers over Eagles.
Yeah. Okay.
Surprisingly, he wasn't the only person who put the Steelers. My friend Eric, who was on guest picks, also has Eagles over Steelers, but he's also in La La Land with the Steelers pick. DeLuca had Eagles over Broncos. Sam Ryan had Eagles over Bills.
Hmm.
Bede had Chris had Broncos over Eagles.
Did anyone not have the Eagles in it?
Only a couple.
Okay.
We are a PA based pod here with PA based guests for the most part. Josh had Eagles over Jags. Jags in the Super Bowl. That's interesting.
Whoever wins that Bills Jags game is in the Super Bowl. I'm
I
calling
think
it now.
I think it's definitely possible. Billy had Rams over Texans. That's two
What
for
a
the Rams.
scumbag. No Eagles. Oh,
Seth had Eagles over Bills. My brother Reno had Eagles over Broncos. A lot of Broncos Super Bowl appearances here. I mean, they are the one seed with that defense, but um, Acor had Eagles over Pats, so same as me. Nice. My friend Alex has Seahawks over Texans. Hmm, that's a defensive battle.
a lot of Texans love.
A lot of Texans, a lot of Broncos love. I'm surprised. Tyrell had Eagles over Bills, and then look at Pat. Eagles over Chargers.
Wow, the Chargers out of left field.
Chargers. So, and then the Yardley brothers in their on their podcast, they did their pick, I believe. So check them out for their Super Bowl pick. But um, yeah, I mean, obviously very, very, very biased. Everyone picking for the most part the Eagles here, but um, I mean, I think generally if the Eagles were a team that snuck into you know, the playoffs and were like the year we lost to the Bucks, like we wouldn't pick them. Um, but I think we all have seen like what they're capable of. So, um, oh, and Bobby, I forgot. Bobby took what was it? Ram or Bills to beat the Rams. So,
Another scumbag.
yeah,
If the Eagles win,
your buddy.
if the Eagles win the divisional round, which is going to be, I think, either the Seahawks or the Rams, no one is stopping them.
If they, I think if
The
they,
momentum will be out of control. Everyone will completely forget that they struggled in this regular season. It'll only come back to the Super Bowl. They'll be in these big moments that they know. There's not many teams that have been in the big moments that are in there. Like the Rams
yeah,
have. Um, I wouldn't even say the Bill. I mean, the Bills, I guess, had an AFC championship or two, but who else? What other team has been in the big moments?
yeah, I do feel really strongly, especially the way Matt Stafford's played, and I think the only the only roadblock to the Eagles repeating or at least getting to a Super Bowl is the Rams and themselves. If they don't, if they beat themselves with dumb penalties, poor execution, if the defense has a collapse, like a lapse, like when they played against the Bears and struggled only against the run, that's the only way I think. I don't think any other team. I don't think the Niners. I don't think the Packers. I don't think the Panthers. I don't think Seattle can beat them with the experience and with this defense and with the talent. I think the Rams. So if the Rams get eliminated before the Eagles have to play them, that'd be great. But otherwise, it's the Rams and the Eagles that you have to beat, not get beat by. So,
Yep.
but we'll see. We'll see. And then we'll come back next week for our wild card recap. But we got, I think, what, two games today on Saturday and then the rest on Sunday. Is there a Monday game?
I don't believe so.
I know they did that shit last year, and I did not like that.
On Peacock, yeah, it was so dumb.
Let's just double
Well,
check.
there might be because yeah, you got the two games tonight. There's three on. Might I say we have the best game? Like I'm
Oh,
so happy
yeah,
about that.
there's a Monday game. It's te Texans and Steelers, the most obvious game to be put on Monday.
Yeah, so we finish with crap and then we start with crap.
Yeah, Rams Panthers at 4:30, Packers Bears at 8. That'll be fun. Bills Jags at 1, Niners Eagles at 4:30 on Sunday, Chargers Patriots Sunday Night Football, Texans Steelers on Monday night. It'll be man, playoff football's fun. So
It's the only thing that gets
we
me through the depressing January.
yeah, so we shall see. But till then, hopefully when we do this, we are next week we are on cloud nine with an Eagles dub heading into the divisional round, and if not, there will be lots of tears, lots of cursing. So
Kevin Patrol will be fired the second it happens.
the only positive that will come out of this. All right, peace out. Go Birds.